The word Kinzua comes from the Native American Seneca Nation language meaning fish speared there. Understandable with all the freshwater streams and lakes in that part of our country, these rolling hills in northwestern Pennsylvania are a part of the Appalachian Mountain Range that stretches from Newfoundland, Canada to Alabama. As our country was growing post-Civil War, the need for raw materials to get market like coal, lumber, and oil caused the railroads to compete for those growing needs. Speaking of growing needs, the town of Titusville, Pennsylvania, where the first oil well was drilled in our country, is nearby and a cool museum. Civil War General Thomas Kane was president of the New York, Lake Erie, and Western Coal and Railroad Company and decided to run a line from Buffalo, New York into the wilderness of northwestern Pennsylvania to meet those demanding needs. When his civil engineer laid out a proposed route, he gave two options for that part of his line. One was to lay 8 more miles of track over very difficult terrain or build a viaduct over the Kinzua Creek Valley. General Kane chose the latter. Workers placed a cornerstone on September 8, 1881, and ironwork began on April 10, 1882. 40 men labored for 94 days to fabricate 20 wrought iron towers, the tallest being 301 feet. The viaduct itself spanned 2,053 feet and cost $167,000. At the time, it was the highest and longest railroad bridge in the world. By the turn of the century, growing train weights made the bridge obsolete, and in the summer of 1900, workers replaced the wrought iron towers with steel ones. With about 120 iron workers, the bridge was replaced and reopened on September 25, 1900. As a footnote, in 1977, the American Society of Civil Engineers added the bridge to the National Register of Historic Civil Engineering Landmarks. As trains became larger and heavier in the late 1950s, the bridge was considered obsolete and sold to a scrap dealer. The scrap dealer, knowing the bridge had historic value, sold the bridge to the state of Pennsylvania, and in 1970, it became a state park. Between 1986 and 2002, the Knox and Kane Railroad began running tourist trains in the area during the summer and fall. They carried about 20,000 passengers a year over the viaduct until state officials noticed structural deterioration and closed the bridge for repairs. Emergency repairs had been partially completed when an F1 tornado came up the Kinzua Creek Valley and toppled 11 of the tallest towers and 23 of the 41 spans into the valley below, all in 30 seconds, leaving a 1,400-foot gap in the viaduct. The state shored up what remained of the viaduct, and today pedestrians can walk out about 600 feet on the viaduct and view what remains of the destroyed structure. If you ever find yourself traveling through northwestern Pennsylvania, it's definitely worth a visit.